once, and I'll tell you twice. The way I feel, here's my advice. I told you once, and I'll tell you twice. The way I...
Hi, everybody. Welcome along to Shakedown. This is episode 15. Glad to have you with us watching on this podcast. Well, we're going to talk about something just a little bit different coming up in this podcast. Going to talk about Aretha Franklin. I'm going to talk about Kanye West, and I'm going to talk about Stormzy, and a little story that I'm going to present to you about an incident that I had to deal with. So we begin with this week's podcast talking about Aretha Franklin, which in the time of recording, I only just realized that she has passed away, 76 years old. What can you say about her? She is the greatest, if not the greatest singer that there's ever been. I know that you guys probably have your favorites. Let me know in the comments below um, who they are, whether or not you agree or disagree. But I think one of my abiding memories of Aretha Franklin was that I used to work with my dad, and he is a big gospel fan. And he likes hearing a load of gospel music, whether it's reggae and everything. But I remember when I was in his shop, and I would be cleaning fridges, washing machines, you name it, and he would throw in those songs, and I could hear her sing, and on the radio, and I just thought to myself, do you know what? That's just brilliant. She's brilliant. It was like I can't remember one of the songs that she done. When she did it, she just did it so breathlessly, and I was totally in awe as I heard her. The last time that I saw her on TV was President Obama's inauguration. She performed then, and do you know what? I have to say a massive, massive respect to her. She defined true greatness in us. True greatness. Sorry, I'm a little bit caught up in the moment of what I'm trying to talk about here. But yeah, you forgive me when I say that we keep losing these great legends, um, and we only act when they pass away. Um, but we should be cherishing them while we're still alive. But yeah, I wanted to pass my condolences to her family. Um, Everybody around the world has been left a mark. Um, every time respect's heard, every time say a little prayer's heard, um, we all end up thinking about what she did and how she got there, and yeah, I can't believe she's gone. But I just think that I wanted to start off with this podcast talking about her because um, as growing up, and I hear what she was about, and hearing what she did, and how she transcended people that could be able to come through. People like Whitney Houston, people like Mariah Carey, people like Beyonce. All these sorts of women that sort of came up through her and everything. It's just brilliant to see, to be honest. So it's brilliant. I, for one, will miss her definitely. May she rest in peace. So the next topic I'm going to talk about is Stormzy. Now, just today, he's announced that he has working in partnership with Cambridge University. Now, what's going to happen is that he is going to initiate the scholarships to two black students for this year and for next year. And as I look at that now, really, what does that signify? Well, as a black person, it's a beautiful thing, because we need more of them in the top universities. Now, I never got the privilege of actually going to the. I didn't really work hard enough, but there you go. I've actually been to Wolverhampton, and I was made to feel that that through hard work it can open doors. Now, I kind of got lucky to get where I'm at currently, but I'm still trying to develop myself to even go further. And that's the thing that I wanted to talk about here, really, with Stormzy and how he's sort of been able to do things. He was an underground artist, and he able to just been coming up in the last couple of years or so. It's been mad for him, but he realizes where he's at, and he realizes that there is so much more he could do, other than just rapping, giving back. I know that he has helped tremendously with the Grenfell Tower fire disaster. And I know that he is a person that is completely passionate about his community and everything else. So I, for one, respect for what he's been able to do. Not many artists or celebrities do these sort of things, but when they do, when it does happen, um, it's it's a good thing. It only just makes the world a little bit better, knowing that there's somebody out there willing to help, and willing to guide and develop people. So good on you, Stormzy. Okay, I'm gonna speak about Kanye West now. Most of you who probably watched the YouTube video, or watched Jimmy Kimmel Live, saw the video, and I saw the interview that he conducted um, with Jimmy Kimmel. And I don't really watch much Jimmy Kimmel, but I know he's a nice guy, and I know he's, well, you can see he's a nice guy. You know what I mean? He's always just lived to entertain people. So, um, yeah. I saw the interview and everything, and I wanted to try and understand the mindset in which Kanye is at the moment. Um, to be brutally honest, I rate him as an artist. I truly do. I truly do. Even though I don't, his new music is not there for me. I know it's there with other people. I know that people would just say, just sit down there and just listen to what he's been able to do. Um, but the, but to be honest, right, as I look at him as a person, um, I don't know. Um, I don't know. I don't know what he does, to be honest. But I do know that he's a guy that has a very, very big ego, and he's a guy who you know when he's out there, he's completely opinionated about what's going on. And and I think that, yes, it's a good thing to be opinionated on. It's a good thing to stand for something. It's a good thing um to try and say your ideals and what your values are. But the truth of the matter is, with this guy, is that I just don't know how he kind of gets off with saying the right thing in which he tries to do it in the wrong way. I'll give you an example. When he said that slavery is a choice, it 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 was completely opening the floodgates, really. Um, when I heard it myself, knowing that there's people there's people who has gone through, families have been torn apart by this. There's been generations that's been changed from this. Um, when you look at what happened and everything else, um, it wasn't a choice. Was never a choice. Um, what could they have done? What, we don't know. But to be honest, right, these people have gone through all of this just so that we could actually be here. And if it wasn't for certain people who's taken necessary steps to actually get us to live free as black people, um, I don't know what would happen. I probably wouldn't be here. I don't know. But when he says sort of things like that, it kind of irks me really, because I know that he could actually use his voice for good, and I know that um, he could actually try to reach out to people um, in a better way. But I digress. It's what it is. Let me be honest, right? I'm not trying to say he's a bad person, and I'm not trying to discredit him as an artist. I just think that certain things that he says, yes, some are a bit out there, and some are not necessary. You don't really need that sort of opinion, because you know people these days are woke. So I just think that's what it is really. But um, yeah. So I only think to myself that um, even when I think about it, it's kind of it kind of like makes me think to myself like what's happened, and I get this feeling that since his mother died, I don't know if this sort of thing has happened. Um, I don't know. I don't know. Who knows in the mind of Kanye really? But I'm not trying to discredit him as a person or anything. I just think that sometimes this is where you have to kind of think before you speak, and this is where you have to kind of, yes, you can be a free spirit, and yes, you can be creative as hell and everything, but um, sometimes, right, when you're in the public domain, you gotta be able to conduct yourself in the right way. So I just think that that's really the case. Okay, I'm gonna speak to you about an incident that I had earlier today. Um, and this is quite bizarre. It's quite bizarre. So I wanted to go out and do my errands, and I wanted to go to the gym as well. So because this is my day off and everything, I wanted to try and get things moving with that. Um, so there was this woman as I was going to the ATM, I asked her if she was in the queue because she looked like she was standing out there waiting there. And then she was like saying like food, I want food, I want food. Um, and I was like, okay, no, 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 no. As I finished, she came back. She came back and said like, oh, no food, I want no food, I want no food. I said, like, okay, or like, okay, why do you need food? Why do you need food? She said that she needed to feed her child. I said, okay, where's your child? She said in Erdington. Now, I was actually in Perry Bar when this happened. Now, if you're from Birmingham, um, Perry Bar and Erdington, you could get there in about 10-15 minutes if you're driving. Bus wise it'll be about 25 minutes tops, but it's about 3-4 miles away, let's put it that way. Anyway, and I began to question her and say what was going on, and I just said to her that you are begging people for this when you got a daughter at home. She said she even told me her sister's looking after her, but that doesn't defy the point. You're out there begging and everything else, right? And this is why I have a problem with people who go out there and beg. Um, there are homeless people out there that do seriously need help. To be honest, I will admit that. But when you're out there and you're begging people, it's not good. It's never good. Um, and I just think that why would you want to go ahead and do something like that and expect us to like foot the bill for it? Now, anybody that knows me knows that I will help. I will help anybody. I will help anybody as much as I can. But from the moments when somebody takes a piss, I'm not gonna want to help them. Like I'm not prepared to put myself in such a way that benefits others um, in that fashion. And in this woman's case now, she went about her way to do what she wanted to do, which is try and get as much money as that she can, so that she can actually make a living. I know it's dog eat dog world, you know, but go out there, go to the Job Seekers Alliance. If you're living in a fixed address, go to the job seekers, like try and get money that way. Like, I know that there's a benefit culture to it, or that's another story for another day. But begging is not good. Why are we doing it? We shouldn't be doing it. We shouldn't be. We should be going out there and making our money so we can live. Now, I'm not one of those people that don't like to that doesn't like not working. I'm not one of those people that's like I've got no problem um in making money. I've got no problem in making it. It's just that in this day and age, right, people always having to take the easy way instead of just saying to themselves, okay, look what you need to do. This is where you are. This is where you need to be. Begging is not going to help you. It makes you look very, very silly, and that's what that lady was. She looked for herself very, very silly to think to herself that she could leave her daughter all the way in Erlington, coming down to Perry Bar. If she was that desperate, she said she could have gone to Erlington to like stay around the area so that she knows that the child's looked after and whatever. And you can understand. You can understand where I'm coming from, right? It just doesn't look good. So I just think it's a case of um, somebody just like literally just pulling her to one side. It's probably going to be the police, like depending on how much she keeps on harassing the public. But it just doesn't look good. It really doesn't look good. Like I can't even begin to actually say how bad it actually looks. So yeah, I just thought I'd just share that one with you. Okay, I'm also going to talk about the recent London terror attack. Um, there was a 29-year-old man who drove from Birmingham, here in Birmingham, and he went to London. Apparently, it was to get his visa sorted, and he was around Westminster, and he drove into the gates of House of Parliament. He's been arrested and subsequently been charged um, of plotting a terror attack. Now, anybody that knows me knows that I'm born in Birmingham, born and bred in Birmingham, but I have lived in London for a time. And I still go to London to this day. I've still got family over there and everything else. Um, it's my second home, and I've always kind of felt hurt by all of this thing what I'm hearing as of late when it comes to London. So the recent uh, stabbings that's going down, the knife crime that's going down in London. Um, and this is eerie because this has happened before, pertaining to the Westminster attack. This has happened before. Only this time, it caused a lot more damage, and if it weren't for the people that was, um, if it weren't for the people that was working in St. Thomas's Hospital that ran out to actually help them, um, who knows? But I always kind of get hurt by all this stuff. Reason being because I feel a part of London. I feel that London is a symbol of this country. And I feel that London is somewhere where it's completely elemental. Every time I go out there, I was being in awe with it. Yes, I'm capable of coping with the speed because I've lived there and everything, but it's so elemental. It's untrue. Um, and I look at him, this gentleman that's been arrested, and I always kind of think to myself, why would you want to go and do something like this? Why would you want to put yourself um, in this position? There's no good that's going to come from this. Um, I don't want to speak too much about this, but it's sad, you know, and it's like it kind of gets society always kind of thinking to themselves, like thinking, what do we do going forward? How do we keep moving forward as society? Well, it's simple, really. You take it one day at a time. You know, these things do happen, but we shouldn't live ourselves. We shouldn't live in fear. We shouldn't live in such a way that we cannot live our lives. And I wanted to spread this message out there to people that um, I wanted to say that it's no good staying indoors from everybody. I know it's more or less a safe thing to do and everything else, but when I know that there are people out there who want to do harm out there and everything, but they won't win. Um, we got good people in this world, you know, and I think that it's enough, you know, it's enough to make the world a better place. Of course, we need more people out there doing what we need to do to kind of make it better. But it starts within us. And I wanted to just kind of spread this out there for everybody watching this, that we need to live better as people. And the only way we're going to do that is if we can stop the violence to one another, start causing hate towards one another. It's not fair. You know, some people out there just want to live life. Well, a lot of us do, really. But we just want to live our lives. We just want to be the best that we can be. We shouldn't be dragged down by all this madness that's going on. It's not right. So I wanted to end this podcast just by talking about all these subjects. I know it wasn't well put together, but I wanted to get this out there. So don't forget, you can follow me on all forms of social media. Just search in my name and you'll find it. I'll be back next time with another podcast, episode 16. Keep it locked right here on Shakedown. Peace out, people.